TourTrek was created to provide corporate clients with national photography services. By offering photographic services on a national level, RTV is able to provide our photographers with additional work and a chance to expand their portfolios beyond real estate photography. We work with national hotel chains, apartment management companies, and commercial real estate corporations. Over the past 3 years, we've been able to grow the TourTrek program to provide new photographic services to our clients. As we've grown this side of our business, we've been able to raise the payouts to our photographers with a substantial increase between 2014 and 2015. In this segment, we will be covering how to set up your profile in Fusion, making yourself visible on our dispatch map, the location and details of the TourTrek guidelines, creating gallery tours, and applying to be part of the TourTrek program. Let's get started. If you don't remember your password or username, please reach out to us and we'll help retrieve the information. First, let's set up your profile. To get to this area in Fusion, click TourTrek in the gray menu bar at the top of the screen, and then click on the Setup button in the light blue bar. The RTV staff reviews this information before we dispatch orders to our photographers. This is how we will know if you are capable of completing the requirements of an order. Let's walk through it together. In the top 3 fields, please fill in the make and model of your camera bodies, the lenses you have, and also information about any lights and reflectors you own and are experienced in using. We do have clients that request portraiture or headshots with their packages, which require us to dispatch photographers with lighting equipment. The toggle fields are essentially yes or no fields. Slider to the left with a red background is no, slider to the right with a green background is yes. For all of these fields that you mark with a yes, which is green, we are expecting to have the experience to be able to provide professional quality portraits, videos, and HDR bracketed shots. For example, if you feel you are not knowledgeable enough in video editing to be able to supply us with professionally edited video, please do not mark that box. The aerial photography gear field should only be toggled if you have the FAA waiver and are properly insured and certified to perform commercial and aerial photography. For the spherical and cylindrical panorama capability fields, you are required to have a panoramic head for your tripod and the software to properly stitch the imagery together. If you've gone through the Google certification process on your own and are certified as a trusted independent photographer, you can mark the Certified Google Tip box, but RTV will verify your standing with Google. Fields to be completed by RTV include the round-trip distance you will travel before charging mileage. This is round-trip, not one-way, and RTV will pay the current federal standard for mileage. Keep in mind that photographers with larger non-charge ranges will receive TourTrek opportunities before photographers with smaller ranges when applicable. Please reach out to us to make any adjustments to this field. The T4 settings fields will be updated by RTV as you complete each required section of the T4 process. There will be more info on the T4 program in a few minutes. Always click the Save Changes button if you've made any updates before leaving this page. Don't forget to update this area of Fusion when you get new gear. You will use this same info when you fill out the application for the TourTrek program in the Google form. More on that shortly. The company information section will put you on our map. This is the second most important thing to fill out. If your address is wrong or not listed, you won't show up on our dispatch map. And if you're not on the map, you won't get any dispatches. To get here, click on Company in the gray menu bar at the top of the screen. Supplying us with the information for each of these fields will assist us in dispatching you for TourTrek jobs. It also helps us calculate distances when we are working on dispatching orders that may need to have mileage included. You can upload your logo into this section of Fusion to have it appear in the lower left corner of your personal tours. This can be either a JPEG or a PNG file. The last area you should add your business information to is the profile section. You get here by simply clicking on Profile in the gray menu bar. First of all, the email address that you use as your Fusion login name is the email that will receive all of the system emails and comments from RTV. Make sure this is an inbox that you check every day. If it's not, you can set up email forwarding for emails from realtourvision.com addresses. If your email address changes, be sure to update it here. This is also where you can change your password. Be sure to include your phone numbers in this area. It makes it much easier for us to reach out to you, especially if there's a last-minute rescheduling request from a client. Tour Track Guidelines. You'll always find them on your dashboard under Announcements and News. When you first log into Fusion, you are automatically taken to the dashboard screen. The link to the most recent version of the guidelines will be at the top of the left section of the screen. Read them. We are covering a lot of the material in this video series, but you'll always be able to find the details there. We love to see your work, so give us your best. You will need to create a gallery tour under your FSD account to be able to show us your work and to show us that you know how to use the Fusion system. You do need to have created an owner or agent before you can create a tour. There are specific naming conventions to use for these gallery tours, depending on which tier of service you are applying for. Make sure to use the correct name. Refer to the Tour Track Guidelines for details. Please show us examples of the whole scope of your photographic capabilities, but focus on architectural and real estate photography, since that is the most common type of work we do for our national clients. Feel free to include portraiture work, especially headshots or environmental portraits, any commercial or product photography that you've done, and any fine art images you'd like to showcase. If you're interested in the top tier Tour Track program, T4 for short, we do require a minimum of 10 HDR interior images, 5 HDR exteriors, with at least one being a twilight shot, 5 spherical panos, and 5 cylindrical panos. There is more info on T4 requirements in the Tour Track Guidelines. In general, your images should be well lit, with correct white balance. HDR processing should look natural, vertical perspective and lens distortion should be corrected, and there should not be any stitching errors in your panoramas. Our team is here to help. If you need assistance setting up the nodal point on any of RTV's pano heads, or if you have questions about processing or stitching your images, please reach out to us. You can choose a level at which you'd like to participate in the Tour Track program. Our non-contracted photographers have completed their gallery tours and have decided not to be insured and do not want to sign our independent contractor agreement. The contracted photographers have RTV listed as an additional insured on their business insurance policy and have signed the independent contractor agreement. T4 photographers have contracted status but have also passed our quality of work evaluation and have become certified as a Google photographer, either under our agency or on their own as a trusted Google independent photographer. Photographers that become Google certified under our agency can then market themselves as Google certified photographers and sell Google tours on their own. There are some rules about this, so if you're interested, please let us know. Photographers that have gone through our T4 program and have met all of our requirements are rewarded by receiving priority on dispatched orders. They will also receive orders that require Google shoots. Contracted photographers will receive dispatches before any non-contracted photographers in our network. Contracted photographers will be eligible to shoot for the majority of our clients, as many of them require that our photographers have signed an agreement with RTV. Non-contracted photographers will only be dispatched if there are no T4 or contracted photographers in their area. When signing the contract, you are agreeing not to solicit business from our clients, that you maintain your insurance policy. RTV does receive a notification from your insurance company if you do cancel the policy, And you will need to ask for permission to use images you shot for us in marketing materials or online. Now it's time to let us know that you're in. If you're ready to start getting some extra work, you just have to complete the Tour Track evaluation form. Find the link to this form in our Tour Track guidelines. That link will take you to this Google form. Remember when we went over the Tour Track setup profile in Fusion? This is where you're going to be inputting that same information. On page 3 of this form, you will also be prompted to choose which Tour Track path you are taking: non-contracted, contracted, or T4. Non-contracted photographers only need to fill out the basic equipment capabilities information and submit their gallery tour. Contracted photographers will fill out equipment and capabilities info, submit the gallery tour, and also email a request for the independent contractor agreement. T4s have to complete everything that the contracted photographers do, verify that they met the requirements for their gallery tour, and also answer questions about their pano heads, lenses, and software. Now is our chance to review your work. We will review your tour and give you feedback. We'll update your no-charge mileage distance if you input that data into the Google form, and we'll make sure that you're on our dispatch map. After we receive the signed contract and insurance info, we'll update those fields in your Tour Track setup profile. If you've applied for T4 status, there are a few more steps. We'll reach out to you to help complete your certification. You will then be ready to receive dispatches from RTV. Check out the next video in this series to learn more. We are always available if you have questions. Please don't hesitate to reach out.